welcome to Dadtech&rc. Today I'm going to be talking about my Ft009 that I've modified. The idea with the project, as I started on the forum, was to convert a stock boat to something that was a bit quicker than a Ft012. I think from what I've done, I've kind of achieved that. A few trials and tribulations on the way, including fire. Managed to catch this thing on fire. I had a dodgy ESC that decided to get that hot. The solder melted, so I was quick enough to be able to pull it out. So at the moment I'm running a RC 60 amp ESC. Unfortunately, with these cheaper ESCs, they don't always work. If they do, sometimes they can be a bit glitchy. This particular model doesn't have a reverse function, which has meant that I've had to think about battery placement and balance to make it self-right properly with the one direction. The motor I'm using is a readily available 4000 kV outrunner. You can get those on places like Banggood. And then the next question was to link it. I used a constant velocity joint, you know, one of those joints that can allow for a little bit of angle. That wasn't strong enough, that just shredded itself. So I've gone for a straight connector on that one. And what I had to do was I used the stock Ft009 tube and then used an Ft012 prop shaft, and then what I did was measured it up, cut it down a little bit so that it was the right length, and then used a drill to put two little indentations in the correct place so these grub screws can locate in it. So far it's proved really really good. You know, you've got to be careful about your alignment of your motor. First of all, I tried changing the height by lowering the mounting points. That didn't work. Stock height was near enough right. I kind of measured once and I should have measured it twice, but these things happen. You live and learn. So then onto the battery tray. What I've done with this one is I've modified it so I can change where the Velcro straps go for different types of batteries. And lowered it so that there's a little bit more height so the batteries fit in it nice and snug. Use some better quality hose as well, nice bit of silicone hose. I think probably what I'll do at a later date is the mod for the servo where you put the servo upright, and that gives you a little bit more room here. Then I'd move the receiver, which is tucked away in this balloon. I'd probably put it on the other side and then run the battery like the Ft012 along there, but I kind of liked where the balance point was running on the Ft009. It seemed to work really well, especially when I had the reverse to help it flip. So here you'll see the original stock battery, 7.4. That used to mount across the battery tray like that. It used to be a lot more snug when it was slightly higher up. So now what I've been running is the Ft009, and I had that so that it would tuck neatly in against that edge, so the weight would offset the rotation of the motor, and that worked really well, especially with self-righting. And then following that, I've changed it so that the battery tray was modified, so I took that edge off, and that meant that I could run these Ft009s so they sit underneath there, they tuck in nice and tight under there, and put a little bit more weight on the front, because the nose tends to point a little bit skyward when you're at full throttle. So, and then what I've done is modifying the tray. What I wanted to try later today, which will be fun, is the 4S battery pack. So that one if I'm correct in saying, I was going to do it so that it's sat going that way. I've modified the cover for it as well, so that the cover will fit on with that battery in there. It'd be interesting to see whether it'll balance properly. I'm thinking the weight's a little bit too high, and I probably should have waited until I'd done the servo mod so I could run a longer battery pack along that way instead. That probably would have spread the weight out a little bit more nicer. One of the things as well today, because it's quite nice and calm and the water conditions are good, I've got my 35mm prop on, just a reinforced prop. The idea is to keep it a little bit budget, and yeah, it works a treat, especially when it's nice and calm. It's a little bit too too quick on the 35 when it's a bit choppy. Usually use a 32mm then, and that works well. I've put the turn fins on as well. Works an absolute treat. So what I'll do is I'll do a video of when we take the boats out this afternoon, and you can have a look, see how it goes on the 4S. Well, thank you for watching. Hope you like to subscribe, and catch you later. Bye.